vraiment toute seule et ivrée dans la forêt.
Resident fashion geek checking in for duty. I have been scouring the New York Fashion Week shows because it is Christmas, aka Fashion Month. There's still shows happening as we speak, but let's talk about my favorites so far and give you a ton of inspiration to start playing with. If you're new here, my name is Faye and we talk all things thrift, vintage, sustainable fashion, and what I like to call Opshopulence. So we take secondhand, we reinvent it, and we turn it into first class chic. Oh yeah, we do. I've put together 3 looks inspired by 3 of the shows, and I want to talk about a few of the other collections as well. All right, New York Fashion Week so far, let's dive in. A quick disclaimer before we do though, I just want to say that we make our own trends around here. So what I'm going to show you today is really just about inspiration, tapping into what's happening in high fashion and then making it your own, using what you already have or what you can find sustainably and secondhand. Okay, the first collection for spring 2026 that really got my attention, surprisingly too, because I don't normally look at this brand very often, but it was Michael Kors. It was the perfect dreamy combination of resort wear meets masculine tailoring. It had this really effortless vibe about it. Everything was oversized and slouchy, skimmed the body, hung off the hips, so elevated, but really wearable. So it instantly made me think about the classic timeless pieces that I have in my wardrobe, which I talk about a lot. And it doesn't matter whether you're buying them new or secondhand, they will really see you through. A great wool jacket, a classic white t-shirt, a good pair of cargos, denim, black pants, pencil skirt, a silk blouse, a flowy dress, great accessories. All of these pieces are really going to be such amazing canvases for you that you can use and restyle in all sorts of different ways. So having those pieces, I can look at the collections and go, okay, that's the way they've expressed themselves. How can I feel inspired by that and then do it my way? So I went into my closet and I pulled out all of my classic pieces, my wool suits, silk blouses, and then I just had a play and I came up with 2 looks for this one. This is the first one. So I went with classic black wool pants and then this really interesting asymmetrical top that I found a little while ago. I felt it really leaned into some of the pieces that I saw in the show. And I loved what they did with the belts. These pants actually don't have belt loops, so I had to improvise and I decided to do mine in the little belt loop that I normally do and wear it on the side of my hips. But I love how they actually had the belt undone and sort of hanging down so you could see the belt buckle. Again, it's just about that effortless approach. I just thought that looked really cool. So I did my take on that, and then I've added in this beautiful vintage Lanvin wool blazer. Oof, it's absolutely gorgeous. And she's for sale on Opshopulence.com if you are interested. I don't know why I'm selling her because she's so beautiful, but I have a lot of jackets. And I thought the olive green tone was a really great contrast with the black. Added in some strappy sandals, and then the jewelry was very Michael Kors coded, but also Endless Vacation, as I talked about in my last video. Classic Ray-Bans, which I think definitely plays into the Michael Kors aesthetic. And then I tried my silk blouse to emulate this look, which was the first look down the runway. And I think this is a testament to natural fibers. They just look so good on the body. They drape beautifully. They look expensive because they are a more elevated fabric. But this is the great thing about secondhand shopping and shopping sustainably, is that you can find them for a fraction of the price. And it doesn't mean that you ever have to sacrifice style. I found this show really inspiring because it just made me re-look at my classic pieces and give them a fresh spin for spring and summer, and I think this is something that you can definitely do if you're going into fall and winter as well. You have the luxury of being able to add even more layers with jackets. It's very classic, it's very timeless. I think it looks amazing. I added in a contrasting gold bag, which I thought was a nice pop. Some bangle stacks, which is another big trend that doesn't seem to be going anywhere. So yeah, that was my first look. Okay, the next show I want to talk about, and the show that I created a look inspired by, was Off-White. So this was the debut for the new creative director, IB Kamara, filling in some very big shoes for Virgil Abloh, who sadly is no longer with us. He paved such an incredible path for IB to follow, and he wanted to dive back into streetwear on a hip hop and young black pioneers. I really love the juxtaposition of that I could see in the show. What really caught my eye was this collar with all of the bling. So I instantly thought, ooh, necklaces, brooches, let's see what I can do. First thing I did was dive into all of my silver bling and also think about the right necklace. The canvas piece for this look was my favorite black jumpsuit. So it has really nice white top stitching on it, which I noticed a lot on the pieces in the Off-White show as well. This jumpsuit is such a fantastic basic because you can really just play around with it and add different DNA and different personalities and ideas to it, which is why it was such a good jumping off point for this Off-White look. I wanted to really bulk it up and make it very bold. So I thought layering a big necklace that kind of looks like brooches underneath the collar would work really well. So I did that first, and then just set about adding the silver brooches onto the collar one by one, just deciding which one fit. Now, I do want to say what was interesting about the journey with creating this look is that overall, I don't really love it on me. I think it's definitely better on a gorgeous tall black guy. I'm just not cool enough. But it was a great journey in the sense that it really ignited another fabulous idea for my brooches and my bling. This is why it's so powerful to play with your clothes. It also just really reminded me and reiterated that I still haven't found the perfect pair of black boots, because I tried my cowboy boots with this, didn't look good at all. Tried my Victorian boots, cool, but still not quite right because the pants are a bit 3/4, so it kind of looks like my pants have had an argument with my shoes, if you know what I mean. So I think it's definitely something that needs to be tucked in. But this is why we play dress up, and this is why we mess around with our closets to see what's possible. It helps us to build our styling muscles and our creativity and just see what's possible. And I think I am definitely going to play around with this idea of brooches on my collar again. I've done it before with like one or two, but I've never completely encrusted. So could be a good idea for you as well. Definitely one to file in the Wow Factor statement accessories department. So shout out to Off-White for igniting that spark. That's why analyzing these shows are so great, because you just never know where it's going to take you, and I think that's so fun and such a great part of playing dress up. The next spring 2026 ready-to-wear collection that I was really inspired by was Area. So this was also a debut of a new creative director, Nicholas Byrne, I think is how you say his last name. He was previously at Balenciaga in Paris, so everybody was quite excited to see what he was going to do. Area is actually named after a nightclub in New York, apparently. And so it definitely has that cool New York girl aesthetic. But what I love about it is that it really leans into quite simple pieces and then just takes them to Bling Town, which is why I have this choker on today, because diamantes and specifically bold silver bling was very prominent in this show, but also great classics. Super good denim, black blazers, black cargo pants, bodysuits, great dresses, accented with standout bling. So again, it was a really great opportunity for me to dive into my classics. I have this fantastic pair of jeans that I wear all the time. They're giving Levi's, but they're actually just a Zara piece, secondhand. I found them thrifting. Fit like a glove. Love the rip knee, and I love that the cuff has a little split in it so you can see a great shoe. I just recently sourced this beautiful vintage 100% silk black dinner jacket with all this little white embroidery that kind of looks like tulips. She is absolutely gorgeous and available on Opshopulence.com. Now that I've styled it, I'm like, oof, why am I selling it? It's beautiful. A testament to having really great vintage pieces, quirky, unique, one-of-a-kind jackets that really stand out. I wanted to give her a little road test and see how she fared, and it just looks perfection with these jeans, and to lean into that sexy aesthetic that was very prominent on the area runway, I went with a lace bustier. You could just do a simple t-shirt, bodysuit if you want to be a bit more covered up. And then the necklace is actually a belt. So I've just wrapped it around twice and it gives me that choker effect, very similar to this look in the runway show. My blingy shoes were perfect with the bows because they're diamantes as well, so it picks up that whole vibe. If I was going to go out, I could do a black sunglass and I could do my diamante bag again to really lean into Bling Town. And then the tail end of the area show just took it next level with like tinsel, rainbow extravagance. It was pretty cool, pretty bold. For me, it was a great reminder of how powerful a good pair of jeans, a great black jacket, or a one-of-a-kind vintage jacket, how great those pieces are, because then you can really manipulate them and style them with all sorts of different character. And then I added in a couple more necklaces and a little bolo tie to try to emulate the look of the drapey necklaces that I saw in the show. But yeah, I loved that one. I think this is probably my favorite look. Ooh, I don't know, because the Michael Kors looks were pretty good too. All really supporting my case study of the power of great timeless pieces, particularly in natural fibers. Okay, the laptop's out for this section of the video because there's some other shows that I want to talk about briefly. Ulla Johnson. So this show was actually in collaboration with an artist, or the artist's estate, I believe, Helen Frankenthaler, who was an abstract expressionist. High fashion hasn't historically valued prettiness and femininity, even though the Society of Women does. Go figure. Johnson said she's at long last made the decision to embrace these things. So we love that, honoring femininity. Diaphanous fabrics, beautiful feather embellishments as well, fringing, and the colors. Absolutely beautiful, definitely like a painting on clothes. Strangely enough, very similar to this gorgeous linen silk blouse that I have on my Depop at the moment. I was right on trend without even realizing. I was just drawn to the color, to the femininity, and it kind of felt like a painting, something resorty or vacation. But yeah, this show was absolutely beautiful and a nice contrast against a lot of the other shows that were quite minimalistic in terms of their color palette. Jacquemus. So this was a masterclass in white shirting, if you ask me, and it really made me think about over the years how I have played around with white collared shirts. I've turned them into skirts, I've worn them as dresses, and it's really just about buttoning them together and manipulating how they sit on your body. So you can wear a white shirt as corset, you can wear it as a one-shouldered top, you can wear it backwards, you can wear it off one shoulder, and with the collared shirts themselves you can button them together and make a big skirt. Sometimes I will loop them over a belt, or I will just tie them around my waist. It's really just about playing. For me, clothes are essentially just fabric. They don't really have a gender to me. They don't really have a one-dimensional use. It's really up to you as to what the bloody hell you want to do with it. Like, just play. When I looked at this show, it really made me think about what you could do with white shirts to achieve the kind of aesthetic that I saw on this runway. The skirts were very full. There was lots of layering, lots of contrast, but again, really quite simple by nature. I love this look as well. It made me think you could do an oversized boxy t-shirt with that same effect of layering the white men's shirt. So this is why it's so powerful to look at the collections and break it down, look at those details, and then come up with your own fashion sorcery to reinvent it. I absolutely love this lace dress. It makes me think of doilies in a haberdashery section in a thrift store. Imagine putting all of them together to make a dress. If I could sew, that would literally be the first thing I would be doing this weekend. Gorgeous. And I love this yellow look as well. You could do this with striped men's shirts, pink, whatever color you may have in your wardrobe or that you could find in a thrift store. Mix it up and create something really eye-catching and colorful. Lots of things to play around with this collection. I loved it. A couple of standout looks for me in the Altuzarra show as well. Talking about waist belts from my last video. This is a masterclass in waist belting. Look at that detail, gorgeous feathers. Feathers were everywhere this fashion week. So I was musing on using something like a cummerbund, you know, from a men's suit. You could cover that in feather trim, and then you could have this detachable piece that you could use on all sorts of things. And that model's just wearing classic black. You could definitely make yourself something like that. I think I need to do that. I'm preaching to myself. This top, similar situation, very simple, black top, black pants, but look at that feather collar, the drama. Feather trim, wrap it around your neck, hey presto. This look, the power of patches, applique, embroidery, embellishment on a simple dress. Craft stores have a lot of great patches, or if you're clever, you could make some yourself from different fabric. Layer with fabric glue, add some buttons or some diamantes. I've done that before, and then just hand stitch on. The world is your oysters. And this look made me tap back into my black jumpsuit again because it has that similar look to it. Layering a white high neck underneath, black leather jacket or patent leather one that I have, a statement belt. The pillbox hat is such a cute contrast. And I think I need a snake print bag, just saying. Okay, and lastly, Anna Sui. I've loved Anna Sui for a long time. I think she's amazing. She really sticks to her aesthetic, but then she constantly reinvents it. So she loves 70s, 60s. She's got that real kind of Bieber London, if you know, you know, aesthetic. The Japanese market love her stuff because she does have a bit of a Tokyo street style feel, Harajuku kind of element to her. She's very cute, quirky, but there's always beautiful details. And I love how she merges the eras. So in this show in particular, it still had that 70s, 60s, 70s aesthetic, particularly with the model's hair. But then I was also noticing Victorian elements, the leg of mutton sleeve, and then the colors, like this blue, look at that, so beautiful. What she did really well, this look in particular, it's a masterclass in print clashing because she's done it in the same color palettes. Cohesive, it doesn't look too gimmicky, it really looks elevated and classy. Also with this look, the scarf on the hips, you can see the power of finding a really statement scarf, particularly this one with the fringing on it. So beautiful, looks really decadent and just adds a different dimension to an outfit. Some great waist belt detail in this show as well. The blue one was beautiful. I love this one too with the black and contrasting again with a very Victorian lace blouse. The sheer trend with the sheer skirt. I absolutely love this look. I definitely am on the lookout for a sheer skirt. I want to trial that in spring and summer. Contrasted with like an oversized men's shirt and little sneakers, something a bit unexpected. And then there were even elements of Audrey Hepburn era with the pedal pushers, which I think again was 90s as well. So there's a lot going on in this show, but somehow it just really made sense and was very cohesive. She's so great at doing her own thing, still diving into the trends. but making it her own. Look at that beautiful blue jacket there with the eyelets. And again, the leg of mutton sleeve. Oof, gorgeous. I could go all day, but I hope that has given you a little taste of what's been happening at New York Fashion Week and some ideas for you to play with, some things for you to try. Have a look in your closet, see what you've got, see what you could recreate. Reimagine, reinvent, reuse. If you can, I would love you to check out my small business, Opshopulence.com. You can buy my book there, self-published, and I also have some beautiful vintage and curated pieces, rarities, one-of-a-kind things that I put a lot of love and time and effort into sourcing, things that I think you will just love. Follow me on socials, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest. I've got a Substack. It's all under Opshopulence. So join me over there if you will. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks again for your support, and I will see you really soon for the next one. More Fashion Week goodness to come. See ya.